What I'm trying to point out to everybody is it's everywhere.
Right.
It's everywhere in Lake County right now. Every single government. Highland, God bless them, they're doing a great job. They got to charge to walk in Lincoln Center now.
$2.
$2 to play pinochle, for goodness sakes. Munster, they're going to have to raise their rent on their new golf course. They're laying off teachers. It's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
And nobody wants higher taxes. I don't want higher taxes. But, I'm a homeowner. I got to pay them too.
Right.
But it's a fact of life if you want to get the same you've been getting out of government.
So where are we at with Mitch's Bridge to Nowhere?
Oh, we're not. If we get it, it'll be a toll bridge.
Did they blow it up?
That I don't remember. I know they took out some of the ramps and such. Who do you want to go to, Dave?
Go to one.
Go to one. Bob, how you doing?
Hi. I'd quit whining about Mitch and Lake County. I mean, we don't need a Lake County tax. We need to cut the fat, and that's the beauty of these tax caps.
No, you're missing the whole point.
Fat communities cut their budgets. That's what they need to do.
Mitch and the state legislature passed a law 7 years ago saying, Lake County, you need an income tax. Or not only...
I know, I live here. I went through the whole thing, but you don't need an income tax if you just cut the fat. But Gary and East Chicago and Hammond, that's what the tax cap's going to do.
How about the Republican bastards of Munster and partially Crown Point, Lowell? How about those budgets? How are they doing? Have you been reading about them?
It's fat as hell.
Have you been reading about their budgets? Trust me, go talk to a councilman in those cities and you'll find out they're all squeezed too.
Well, that's what they need to do. They need to do that for 20 years and nobody wanted to.
What,
all they want is these patronage jobs.
Winfield? How are they?
Bob? Give me a question.
Bob,
give me a question. I got a question.
To recap what the tax cap should do.
What specifically in Hammond is fat that needs to be cut? I figured he'd hang up.
Yeah, there you go. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. Every government in the world has probably spending that can be cut. I mean, my own personal budget, your personal budget, we could all find ways to cut.
I cut my budget 4 years ago.
Yeah, you did. But the problem we run into with these tax caps is not only the 1, 2, 3
The
cap.
problem is when these people that want to scream cut, when you ask them specifically, they can't give you an answer.
But what I think a lot of people don't know, everybody's heard of the tax caps, but a lot of people don't realize our reassessment is frozen. I believe it's at 2002 numbers because we don't have an income tax. Forget about the revenue we would gain from an income tax, which would certainly offset some of the pressures from the cap. But property taxes as well have been frozen.
Right.
And that's the part, and that's the gun that Mitch and the legislature have held the Lake County's head for going on 7, 8 years now.
You know what? Let's not just make this specific to Hammond. It's
not.
The county council, the county commissioners. It's everywhere.
Every government in Lake County is going through it right now. It's not just Lake County, and I mean, you hear about Porter County if you read it deep enough, and throughout the state they're having problems. Muncie's cutting firemen and whatnot. But the added pressure of this frozen assessment,
hey, I got
because we don't have the income tax is too much for most.
You know what? The post office can save $75,000 a year. I'm sitting right here. Make me retire.
You're absolutely right.
Right. They could save $75,000 right off the bat.
Well, a lot of people did do buyouts for retirees. A lot of government entities. Post office yet to do it. Hey, Tony, how you doing?
How you doing, guys?
Good.
Good. How are you?
Beautiful day outside.
Ain't it though?
Sure is. Hey, stop picking on Mitch. He found $320 million in his couch.
Nice. Yeah. I wish I had a couch like that.
He's got a grand old couch. And as far as George Van Til, I heard that Val Tanner is going to be his new manager.
Okay, I know who you're talking about now, Val Tanner, right?
You got it.
Yeah, I know who she is.
Oh, okay.
I know who she is. She's that would probably be the last person that would be George's campaign manager. Val.
Well, desperate times.
Val,
for desperate men.
Val's a radio personality from, I think, Gary, is she not?
Yes, she is.
And she's not afraid to say what's on her mind. I'll put it that way.
And the last time he was, the time before that when he was on, she really ripped them good.
You know, it was funny because when I had to contact her a couple of years ago when the mayor was running for county chairman, and I was talking to this lady, and when I finally met her, you would think that you're talking to, a gigantic, outspoken lady, and she's like a real little tiny thing. And then can she tell? She's not afraid to say what's on her mind. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, she really can go at it.
Oh, that'll be
wise old
interesting.
owl.
Yeah, she's a character, a region original, let's say. Thanks for the call, Tony.
Okay, guys.
Enjoy the day,
Like
Tony.
your show.
Thanks, Tony. Hey, Peggy. Hi. How are you today?
Hey, really? Oops, let me turn it down. There we go.
Thank you.
No problem. You talk about cutting fat. I mean, just because somebody can't necessarily identify it, there is fat out there.
No question.
A lot of councilmen at large. You've got, in East Chicago alone, how many councilmen do they have for the number of residents? I mean, it's some ungodly number. That's fat.
Honestly, I don't know how many councilmen they are. And you may be right there. Say they have 9. I don't know how many they have,
Yeah.
but say it's 9. And they cut to 6. Okay, you're right. That's 3 salaries that they would be cutting. But in the grand scheme of things, city councilmen don't make much money. I mean, you're cutting maybe $80,000 out of the budget with benefits, maybe $150,000.
Peggy, are you willing to hang on? Because we're like 2 minutes past the break, and we'd be glad to answer your question as soon as they do this real quick break.
Peggy, can you hang on through the call? Gloria, how you been doing?
Fine, thank you.
Good to hear your voice.
Hey, it was nice to actually see you at the funeral. It's always funny when you can place a voice with a person, and it was nice seeing you there.
Okay, but I didn't like what you said, that when preacher was going to talk about you, he had to call you.
Uh-huh.
The radio, if I wanted to talk about you, I didn't call you. I didn't care if you wasn't my friend.
I was just telling what I knew about preacher is what I said.
I understand that was a side I didn't know about. But what I want to say, a whole lot of things to be cut. Because these councilmen in Gary, East Chicago, and Hammond, they only need about 4 councilmen at large. Also, they get that other money up under, to do different things with. So that could be cut.
Regarding how many councilmen there are, I can't speak for East Chicago or Gary. I don't know their situation, but I know Hammond, because of the size of the city, it's actually mandated by the state how many at-large council people they have to have.
Yeah, but the point is things can change because Hammond has maybe 10,000 more people than Gary, and I don't believe that because a lot of people. But that's not the issue. With nobody making any money, with the 1% tax, government has to change. And they don't want their county tax to come in because they thought it would help Gary, okay? And you can't keep moving here and there and everywhere because there's poverty everywhere.
Well, that is a big problem with the income tax you're talking about. Is a lot of South County thinks they'd be subsidizing North County. The problem we're running into, though, that people have to start realizing in South County, Lake Central is the one that's screaming about their schools and, oh, my God, we got to cut teachers.
Mm-hmm.
That's not North County.
Welcome to Gary. They've been cutting teachers forever.
Exactly.
And I've said this to Steve before. I think that not only Gary, but the entire region has a gold mine sitting there with the airport.